We flew into Vancouver and took a taxi to the New Amsterdam ship. This is our 5th cruise. An Alaskan cruise was on Jan's bucket list. It was our first on Holland America Cruise Line. I really like the shape of that building on the left-hand side. It's the Vancouver Convention Center West. And in the foreground, that's Stanley Park. And across the bay is North Vancouver. The ship's late departure of about 2.5 hours was blamed on customs. We finally got moving at just before 7 p.m. We passed under the Lions Gate Bridge, then on into the Strait of Georgia. The captain navigated through the Johnson Strait, which on the map is where the tight set of islands are between Vancouver Island and the mainland. I didn't shoot many pictures or videos, as this cruise was our 5th and most ships are similar. Our travel day to Vancouver and out to sea was very smooth. The sea day gives us time to look around the ship to see how different this ship was and see where certain amenities are and on which levels. I'm not sure if someone was getting off or on. I do know we did see on occasion luggage and people were getting off onto the small boat. For a few hours we had fog in the afternoon. Otherwise, the whole trip we had a great weather. All in all, it was a quiet day, good day to relax. As we head north, the scenery becomes more spectacular with snow-capped mountains. Oh, now that's a delicious snow-capped dessert. And yeah, we saw a lot of bush. This is our approach into our first port, Juneau. Juneau on the Alaskan Panhandle is the second largest city in the United States by area and has been the capital of Alaska since 1906. It has a current population of 33,000, second to the city of Anchorage, which is just 1,350 kilometers northwest by road. Juneau is settled on the east banks of the Gastineau Channel at the base of Mount Juneau, the mountain range separating the city from the rest of the continent. By driving north to Whitehorse, Yukon, you can get to the Alaskan Canada Highway number 1, which takes you back down into BC and to the rest of the continent. It's time to get off the bench and enjoy our first ship-shore excursion, the Mendenhall Glacier Tour. The bus ride took 25 minutes to the Tongass National Park Visitor Center. The Mendenhall Glacier is 22 kilometers long and located in Mendenhall Valley, just 19 kilometers from downtown Juneau. The glacier continues to retreat and has 2.8 kilometers since 1929. The glacier water runoff does not empty into the ocean as many others do, but spills into the Mendenhall Lake. We returned from the glacier to the port and boarded the Roberts Mountain Tramway, which took us up to the top of Mount Juneau. We were on our own for this walkabout. There really wasn't much up there, except the Raven Eagle gift shop. We saw tourists enjoying snow. We took some pictures and got great views of the Gastineau Channel, Douglas Island, and the city of Juneau. It was a good day as we saw our first glacier. As with most days, we get up, get dressed, and head out onto the balcony to see where we are. We woke up in the port of Skagway. The town of Skagway is north of Juneau, tucked deeper into the Panhandle with a population of 1,100 people. The population doubles in the summer tourist season in order to deal with the more than 900,000 visitors, mostly visiting by ship between May and September. That's a trained snowplow. Our ship-shore excursion was on the White Pass and Yukon Railway. This rail line operated during the Klondike Gold Rush. In 1896, gold was found in the Klondike region of Canada's Yukon Territory. Today, the railway only moves tourists. It was a 75-minute narrated scenic ride for us, up 3,000 feet to the small town of Fraser, BC. currently at 2,800 feet and crossing into British Columbia. Up ahead are the flags of the United States, Alaska, British Columbia, the Yukon, and Canada. And that's an old Northwest Mounted Police building. That's the Canadian Customs Station, the Fraser, BC train depot. Once at this BC town, we boarded a bus for a 60-minute ride back down on the Klondike Highway, the only highway leading into Skagway. Walking around town is just so beautiful. There's colorful buildings. When the ship is in port, the ship is very quiet. We woke up to the ship heading up amongst the islands towards the Glacier Bay National Park. We were passing the Glacier Bay Visitor Center when a boat pulled up beside our ship to let 2 park guides on board. There are just over 1,000 glaciers in this park, and most of all are receding due to man-made and natural climate change. We made our way up the John Hopkins Inlet, and the captain parked in front of the John Hopkins Glacier. The JHG is the only one of 2 glaciers that is currently growing in size. The captain took us up the Tar Inlet to the Grand Pacific Glacier, which has been receding to the point that it's not near the inlet anymore. After parking for about 30 minutes, the captain spun the ship around 180 degrees so our side of the ship could see the Marjorie Glacier. You're about to see some calving. It's when part of a glacier falls into the water. To see it in person, it's spectacular. And here it is one more time. It really is sheer luck to get it on film. We woke up to the ship cruising up the Tongass Narrows, heading towards our last port of Ketchikan. The seaplanes are a major method of transportation. There were so many in this harbor. As you saw in the animated introduction to Ketchikan, we walked around this town instead of going on a shore excursion, as Jan had heard of visiting Creek Street. Creek Street is a historic area in Ketchikan. The street is actually a boardwalk mounted in stilts on a high slope on the east side of Ketchikan Creek, east of the city's downtown. Creek Street was infamous as being Ketchikan's red light district, roughly between 1903 and 1954. And some of its current attractions are commemorations of its past, like Dolly's house. We actually enjoyed walking around in the intermittent rain, as we were totally dressed for it in our new boots, having planned for such possible weather. Ketchikan is known for being the salmon capital of the world, of course, and the first city of Alaska. Its population is at 13,000 people. It's known to be the rain capital of Alaska, with 30.9 meters of rain per year, with at least 15 days of precipitation per month year-round. This was our last day on the big boat. We relaxed, reflected on our trip, got up the next morning, and headed off home. End of a fantastic holiday.